When you stop investing your emotions, it shifts everything. She doesn't just forget about you, but her perspective on you undergoes a significant change. In fact, this simple act of detaching can be more impactful than you realize. In this video, we'll explore the mental shift she experiences when you pull away, and how this one move can not only alter the dynamics of your relationship, but also elevate your own sense of self-worth. Stick around, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Number 1, why overcaring drives her away. Showing endless love and attention might feel like the best way to express your commitment, but for many women it can feel overwhelming, or worse, desperate. Picture this. You're constantly texting her, asking how she's doing, offering solutions to problems she hasn't even brought up. While you believe you're being supportive, the message you're unintentionally sending is clear. I need your validation. This behavior disrupts the natural flow of attraction. Women are naturally drawn to individuals who are confident and self-reliant. When you put her on a pedestal and consistently prioritize her emotions over your own, you unknowingly diminish your value in her eyes. Think about it. Have you ever been so available to someone that they began taking you for granted? It's not about them being ungrateful. It's human nature to desire what feels rare and out of reach. By pulling back and no longer overcaring, you create a void, a space of emotional uncertainty. That silence, the missing texts, the lack of your ever-present support, it stands out. Suddenly, she begins to notice your absence, and her emotions start to shift. But make no mistake, detaching doesn't mean becoming cold or distant. It's about realizing that your time and attention are valuable. They're not meant to be given endlessly without reciprocation. It's a conscious choice to respect yourself, redirect your focus to your own growth, and recognize that true connection comes from balance, not sacrifice. Number 2, the psychological shift that happens when you let go. When you detach, something powerful happens in her mind, something rooted in human psychology. It's known as the scarcity principle. People naturally place more value on what feels rare or hard to obtain, and your attention is no exception. By stepping back and releasing the urge to control the relationship, you create a shift that forces her brain to start working overtime. Suddenly, she's asking herself questions she never had to before. Why hasn't he texted me? Did he move on? These aren't random thoughts, they're her subconscious trying to decode the sudden change in dynamic. When you were constantly present, there was no mystery. She didn't need to think twice about you. But now, your absence creates a puzzle, and the human mind is wired to solve puzzles. That need for clarity makes her replay past conversations, overanalyze your last interactions, and even wonder if your focus has shifted to someone else. But this isn't about playing mind games or manipulating her emotions. Letting go is a way to free yourself from the exhausting cycle of overthinking. It's about creating a mental space where she can reflect on what she may have taken for granted while you reclaim your energy and peace of mind. Number 3, rebuilding yourself, the power of detachment. When you stop centering your life around her, you open the door to something far more meaningful, rediscovering who you truly are. Many men lose themselves in relationships, pouring so much energy into pleasing their partner that they forget their own identity. This isn't just unhealthy, it's a recipe for diminished attraction. By letting go, you reclaim the mental and emotional space you once devoted to her and can now channel it into your own growth. This is where transformation begins. Ask yourself, who am I beyond this relationship? What are my passions, goals, and dreams? Maybe it's time to pick up that hobby you've neglected, start a fitness journey, or dive into a project that ignites your excitement. Each step you take towards self-improvement enhances not only your life, but also how others see you. Here's the game changer. Confidence and self-assurance are magnetic. As you rebuild yourself, she will notice. She may not say it out loud, but seeing you thrive without her will spark questions in her mind. Is he better off without me? Has he moved on? These thoughts can push her to reevaluate her place in your life. But here's the beauty of this process. Even if she doesn't return, you've created a version of yourself that no longer needs her validation to feel complete. You've built a life that's fulfilling on its own, and that's the ultimate win. Number 4, recognizing the signs that she feels your absence. When she starts to notice your shift, the signs may be subtle, but they're there if you pay attention. Perhaps she begins liking your old photos, commenting on posts she once ignored, or sending vague texts like, "Hey, how have you been?" These aren't random acts, they're her way of testing the waters, trying to see if you've truly moved on or if you're still emotionally within reach. Here's where many men stumble. They misinterpret these signals as an invitation to fall back into old habits. They respond too quickly, too eagerly, and before they realize it, they're right back where they started, over-invested and losing their progress. The key is to recognize these signs for what they are, confirmation that your detachment is having an impact. Stay calm, composed, and mindful of your response. If you choose to engage, do so with intention. Don't rush to fill the void you've created. Let her sit with the uncertainty. The real power lies in maintaining the balance you've worked hard to achieve. Let her actions reveal her thoughts, but remember your focus should remain on your own growth, not on seeking validation from her renewed attention. Number 5, reclaiming your emotional independence. When you stop seeking her validation, you reclaim something invaluable, your emotional independence. You're no longer waiting for her texts, her approval, or her affection to feel worthy. This mental shift doesn't just empower you, it makes you magnetic. Once she sees you thriving without her, it sparks an undeniable attraction. She begins to question her own choices, wondering if pulling away was a mistake. But here's the twist. By the time she realizes your value, you might not even care anymore. Why? Because you've built a life that's fulfilling on its own. Her presence becomes a bonus, not a necessity. That's the real transformation. This isn't about proving her wrong or seeking revenge. It's about your growth. When you're genuinely okay on your own, you don't just gain her attention back, you reclaim yourself. That's the ultimate victory, being whole, complete, and confident with or without her in your life. Number 6, why chasing her never works. When a woman starts pulling away, many men feel an urge to chase after her, to text more, call more, and prove how much they care. It feels natural to want to close that emotional gap. But here's the hard truth. Chasing only pushes her further away. Why? Because it shifts the entire dynamic. You stop being a man with purpose and start acting like someone who needs her approval to feel whole. And once she picks up on that neediness, her interest begins to fade. Women are instinctively drawn to men who are secure in themselves, men who don't seek validation from others, especially from romantic partners. When you stop chasing, you take away her ability to feel in control of the situation. Instead of feeding her ego, you redirect your focus toward your own goals, passions, and personal happiness. This isn't about playing mind games. It's about reclaiming your energy and showing through your actions that your life is fulfilling with or without her presence. Here's the irony. When you stop chasing, that's often when she starts noticing you again. Your absence creates a void, and in that space, she begins to reflect on what she's lost. The realization that you're no longer waiting for her can spark curiosity, and sometimes even regret, that may pull her back toward you. Number 7, the quiet power of silence in relationships. Silence has a way of communicating what words never could. When you stop engaging in constant communication, when you stop texting, calling, and checking in, you create an undeniable void, and that void forces her to notice. This isn't about ignoring her or being cold. It's about creating space for reflection. If you're always present, always available, there's no room for her to miss you or to wonder what your absence means. But silence? Silence makes her wonder. It makes her question why you're no longer reaching out. It forces her to confront her own feelings. Is she comfortable with the distance? Does she feel your absence? The beauty of silence is that it works on multiple levels. For her, it creates curiosity and uncertainty, making her rethink her actions. For you, it provides clarity and peace. You're no longer trapped in the exhausting cycle of overanalyzing every text or trying to decode her mixed signals. Instead, you've shifted your focus back to yourself. The key is understanding that silence isn't a tool for manipulation. It's a way to respect your own boundaries. By stepping back, You allow her to realize the true value of your presence. And often, that realization doesn't come from words, but from the quiet, undeniable power of your absence. Number 8, the role of boundaries in building respect and confidence. When you stop over-investing your time and energy into someone, you're doing more than simply pulling back. You're setting boundaries. And these boundaries aren't just for her, they're a declaration of self-respect. Boundaries are essential for any healthy relationship. They signal that you won't compromise your well-being or values to keep someone else happy. And here's the truth. Women are instinctively drawn to men who establish and maintain firm boundaries. It shows emotional maturity, inner confidence, and the ability to stand your ground. By setting clear limits on how much you'll tolerate or how much energy you'll give, you subtly communicate that your value doesn't depend on her approval. It forces her to recognize that you're not a pushover, that you're someone with a strong sense of self-worth who won't hesitate to walk away if disrespected. However, setting boundaries doesn't mean being harsh or unkind. It's about knowing what you want and making it clear what behaviors you won't accept. And the key? Following through. Words mean little without action. When your actions show that you'll uphold your boundaries, it sends a powerful message, one that demands respect. The reality is, people treat you based on what you allow. By defining and maintaining your limits, you're not only protecting your emotional well-being, but also fostering a relationship dynamic grounded in mutual respect. In this environment, attraction flourishes, not through control or neediness, but through authenticity and strength. Number 9, when she comes back, how to stay grounded and keep your power. Imagine your detachment works. She reaches out, sends texts, makes calls, or even asks to meet up. It's tempting to dive back into things as if nothing ever happened. But here's the hard truth. If you lose your composure now, you risk slipping back into the same patterns that caused the distance in the first place. When she returns, your priority should be to remain grounded. The qualities that drew her back, your confidence, independence, and self-assuredness, must remain intact. Resist the urge to drop everything for her. Show her that while you appreciate her presence, your world doesn't revolve around her anymore. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about maintaining a healthy balance. The moment you revert to old habits of overinvestment or prioritizing her above yourself, you undo all the progress you've made. Instead, let your actions communicate your growth. By staying grounded, you set a new standard for how things will move forward. You demonstrate that you're no longer the same person who was desperate for her attention. You've evolved, and it's that transformation that will keep her interest alive and the relationship dynamic healthy. Ultimately, when she comes back, it's not about winning her over again. It's about showing her that your growth is real and you're not willing to lose yourself in the process of reconnecting. That grounded confidence speaks louder than any words you could say. Number 10. The ultimate power of letting go, reclaiming your life and confidence. Letting go isn't just about her, it's about you. It's about liberating yourself from the emotional burden of constantly worrying about her thoughts, feelings, or whether she'll validate your worth. When you stop relying on external approval, you realize that your value comes from within, not from someone else's affirmation. Truly letting go unlocks a powerful sense of freedom and self-assurance. This newfound confidence is magnetic, not only to her, but to everyone around you. No longer chasing love or seeking approval, you start living authentically and unapologetically, focused on your own path and growth. The true power of letting go is that it shifts the focus back to where it belongs, on you. Whether she returns or not becomes irrelevant because you've cultivated a life that's fulfilling on its own. This shift is the real victory, not getting her back, but reclaiming your own sense of self. In the end, letting go is not about manipulation or game playing. It's about stepping into your own power, showing up as the best version of yourself, and becoming whole regardless of what happens in your relationship. Thank you for watching. If you found this content valuable, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more insights on relationships and personal growth. And if you're interested in exclusive perks and content, consider becoming a member of the channel. See you in the next one.